Hey guys, I'm Meoang, and today we're going to learn about the Hag. The Hag is a trap-based teleporting killer who excels at protecting focused locations on the map. By holding down the action button, the Hag will draw a trap on the ground at her feet. She can have up to 10 traps out at a time, and if she draws a new one after that, the first trap drawn will be erased. When a survivor comes close to one of these traps, a clone of the Hag will pop out of the ground. If the Hag is close enough, she can hit this secondary action button to teleport to that clone. If a survivor is crouching when they walk past a trap, that trap will not be triggered. Additionally, if a survivor shines a flashlight on a trap, it will be destroyed. Because of her teleporting mechanic, the Hag has a slightly reduced movement speed. The Hag is also notable for having the teachable perk Ruin, which is an amazing choice on most killers. As for how I'd rate the Hag, I would give her a C in meta strength and a B in fun. I've always thought that the Hag was a little underrated in general, and she's one of my best performing killers. I really enjoy her gameplay because you have a lot to do when you're not chasing, and you have a lot of freedom with placing traps. The Hag has two main perk build options. The first is the more traditional perk build that you've seen on many killers. This perk build is Ruin, Barbecue and Chili, Enduring, and a Nurse's Calling. This perk build is just strong all around because the Hag often has to challenge pallets, and because she usually has to hit survivors twice to down them. The second perk build capitalizes on hex mechanics. Because of the Hag's teleporting ability, she has an easier time protecting totems, and we can take advantage of this by using a lot of hex perks. The hex perk build is Barbecue and Chili, Ruin, Devour Hope, and Thrill of the Hunt. This build is much more defensive and has a heavy emphasis on protecting totems and hooking survivors when possible. The idea is that we want Devour Hope to build up stacks so that we can take advantage of its strengths, and we have Thrill of the Hunt to help us keep Devour Hope around. I usually prefer the first, more traditional perk build, and this guide will mostly be speaking to that style of play. If you like the hex build though, keep in mind what I've said and just adjust by putting more emphasis on protecting totems. As for add-ons, the Hag has several add-ons that have both a positive side and a negative side, and I really don't like using them. Because of that, my favorite Hag add-ons are actually just the ones that make drawing traps faster. The Hag is a very unique killer and takes a while to really understand. Because she can place so many traps, but you can only teleport to them from a certain distance, you often find yourself focusing on a smaller area of the map surrounded by generators. As long as you can protect these generators, you're good to go. When the match starts, focus on placing a few traps at locations that survivors will most likely visit or pass by when trying to escape you. This includes pallets, vaulting points, generators, chests, totems, and so on. Once one of your traps is triggered and you begin a chase, hopefully you will have traps laid out around that area that will help you down the survivor quickly. Once you get your first survivor hooked, the game really begins. Survivors will hate you for doing this, but the best thing to do with the Hag at this point is to draw traps around the hook. Don't go crazy, just place one or two near the hook, then a few at nearby pallets and vaulting points. Try to stick around this area and slowly transition your trap zone to be around this hook. One of three things will happen. Either someone will go for a save and set off your traps and you'll catch them, a survivor will crouch past your traps and you'll see them getting away, or the hooked survivor will just die on the hook. All three of these outcomes can be played around as long as you stay in the general area that you've trapped. Keep the pressure on so that the survivors can't just return to doing generators. To clarify, I'm not saying that you should trap the hook and camp the survivor to death. What I'm saying is that you should build a small network of traps around the location that includes the hooked survivor so that you can respond to hook saves more easily. To demonstrate what I've gone over in this guide, I've included a pretty good example of a full Hag game. If this guide has helped you, or you'd like to learn more about the other killers and playing killer in general, consider subscribing. Soon I will have a guide like this one on every killer in the game, and will focus on teaching more aspects of playing killer. Thanks for watching guys, and enjoy the gameplay.